As a high school student, I never much cared for doing projects. They often consisted of too much pointless work on topics I either already understood or could have learned much more quickly through more traditional means. I kept this belief in mind when planning my technology project in the context of my student teaching assignment. I knew that in order to believe in the value of my technology project, it would have to satisfy two criteria. It would have to provide an opportunity for students to practice skills that they were in the process of learning, not be a time-consuming way for students to demonstrate mastery of a concept. And the project would have to be on a topic of fundamental importance that I could justify spending extensive class time studying. I chose to have students use Geometer's Sketchpad to practice identifying properties of functions and see how transformations affect graphs. Since Geometer's Sketchpad can capture motion, this software is ideal for helping students achieve a deeper understanding of the relationship between changing numbers in an equation and changing the location of a graph. In addition, these topics are crucial for further studying mathematics, and it is worthwhile to spend a lot of time on them. I also planned this project in the middle of the unit, so it would serve as a learning tool, not merely a way for students to demonstrate their knowledge. Indeed, this project proved to be an effective activity to help students master the content objectives. The opening part of the assignment was for each student to make a Geometer's Sketchpad file displaying static transformations of their own made-up function. We had done a paper and pencil worksheet of similar problems in class the previous day. But based on my discussions with students, having to manually transform a function on a computer helped them understand how each parameter in an equation affects the graph in the way that drawing several disconnected graphs on paper did not. In addition, using technology enabled students to create a dynamic representation of a graph. Students used Geometer's Sketchpad to change the parameters of a known equation and depict a graph as a representation that changes in response to the changes in its corresponding equation, as opposed to a series of static images. Some more advanced students figured out additional features of the Geometer's Sketchpad software and used them to create more detailed animations to illustrate the effects of changing the parameters of an equation. Most of my students proved to be true digital natives and had very little trouble learning how to use the Geometer's Sketchpad software. The main technological issues arose from opening and saving files in an operating system that I am not very familiar with. I planned the project on the computer running Windows, while in the computer lab my students used Macintoshes. Opening a Sketchpad file on my own computer requires just one click of the mouse, whereas opening files on the Macs at school required several more steps. I did not realize this difference before I took my 4th period class to the computer lab, so in that class I had to help students individually as they tried to open files. This took more time than I would have liked. In my 6th period class, I instructed the class as a whole group how to open and save files, and that class went very smoothly. In the future, I will definitely seek out opportunities for my students to use technology in the process of mastering content objectives. I will spend more time familiarizing myself with the operating systems on the computers my students will be using before they begin the project. Fortunately, I will have ample time to gain experience teaching with technology, as starting in January I will begin a job teaching statistics in which the students learn most of the mathematical concepts by working with computer applications.